Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Becca with House of Lenormand. Today is Friday, October 11th. I thought today we would do William Barr's Grand Tableau. Sorry it's taken me so long. It's been difficult trying to find the time. I have gotten a couple of emails to ask about what I do for prep for when I do a reading. So I thought I'd jump in here and just add it real quickly at the beginning of the video. Because I thought it would be easier to do it that way than to type it out in an email. So I hope you're okay with that. So let's jump in. So this here, it's a little bit hot. I just got done using it. This little bowl here, I usually put some sage in here and I let it smoke up. And I run my cards through here, even the little bag that I'm using. To kind of clear off the energy. I do that before a reading and after a reading. Up here I have some cascarilla, which is hudum, powdered white eggshells with holy water. They use it for rituals and cleansing, but it's a really good purifier and cleanser, so I'll use that. I'll take a little bit and rub it on my hands, my arms, the back of my neck, all the way down. I'll use some holy water, and this right here, agua de Florida, that I use this to. It's like it's called Florida water, and it's a like a holy perfume. It smells really good. So I'll do that before a reading, after I get done cleaning my cards over here, and I'll do it after. When I'm done cleaning my cards after a reading and I'm done cleaning myself, I have a little, oh, there's Moose. I have this little area here in my living room where I have some crystals and stuff, but here I have this little plate that I don't know where it came from. My cousin gave it to me a few years ago. But it's a quartz slab. So I usually just, when I'm done cleaning my cards after a reading, I just set them here to charge, and that's about it. I usually keep some incense going here, and some palo santo as well. There's my quartz, and this little cone of Palo Santo. The one that I use is the Wolf Spirit Sage. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. And the incense that I burn is Fred Pohl's Sweet Frankincense incense. I've been using the cones a lot more than the sticks, because these you got to keep relighting. But yeah, that's what I do. I clean my cards before reading over in the kitchen, and then when I'm done, I bring them back over here, and they sit on that little plate. Okay, hope that was helpful. Okay, everyone, so this is the Grand Tableau for William Barr. I wanted to say hello and welcome to all of the new subscribers. Hi. This tableau was for William Barr. I did this on August 25th. And I'm just now getting around to being able to film it and put it up. The intention, the timeline that was set for this tableau was from October through December. So this would be October, November, December. But I'm only able to see 2 columns ahead. So it looks like it's only letting me see a lot of the stuff that's going on back here. For those of you that are new, this is the Grand Tableau. And it's quite important where the significator lands, because that gives us a lot of information about what he's thinking about, what's going on behind him, what's in his past, where he's moving forward, what he has control over. I also use the housing system, meaning where every card lands is a house, so that allows me to be able to follow the chain around the tableau, link cards, and kind of get a little bit more information. So the first card that opened up this tableau was the bear. That's Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is making a false praise or a false offer here. We can see that William Barr is towards 2 columns before the edge of the tableau. He lands in the house of crossroads. So it means everything above him is what's on his mind. He's thinking about all this stuff up here, doesn't really have any control over it. Everything to the left of him is his past. Everything to the right is what's coming up. So we can see here that he is on the house of crossroads. There's some sort of, down his current line, there is a conversation that was had that has caused quite a bit of confusion and a lot of trouble, that's being kept in a black box that has to do with technology. That's the server that is raising suspicion and could quite possibly be starting to be investigated. He is on the house of crossroads, meaning he has a choice to make, and this guy can go either way. Okay, and then underneath him we're seeing the mice in the house of lilies. There's some sort of illness going on with him. He's got the coffin over him and he's got the mice right below him. Also, the tree lands back in the house of man. There's some sort of illness with him that is metastasizing, because we have the stars in the house of tree. That's something that's spreading and metastasizing, and he's on the house of crossroads, so it's like spreading everywhere. So right down here we can see that he's ill. This diagonal this way with the scythe, the man, and the heart, there may be some sort of a heart issue as well. Perhaps he may need some sort of surgery. He lands on the house of crossroads. That could be perhaps some sort of a bypass that he may need. And then here we're seeing a woman that had seniority. Here, but there's several women, because there's the woman here and the crossroads. There's several women that are playing into his tableau, but there's a woman here that has seniority over him. Here we're seeing the tower in the house of mountain. That is an institution that could be far away, or that could be an institution that has been delayed. Okay. And here we're seeing the ship in the house of mice. There's something going on with overseas corruption. Interestingly enough, this mirrors here. That would be the Department of Transportation. So if we read it like that, I'm thinking Chow is in here somewhere. If it's not the woman that's being represented here, because there's several women. So one of the players here could be Maria, the ambassador that had seniority. The other person perhaps could be someone that has seniority within the Department of Transportation here. There's chronic corruption and a pattern of overseas corruption going on that he's looking to step into over the next few months. And I can see where this is the developing story with the ambassador here, because this is a woman that this person removed that was investigating corruption. And I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time with this and trying to figure out where Elaine Chao is, because this is the Department of Transportation here. Sorry, you guys, I'm filming on my iPad because I don't want my iMovies to crap on me. So down this row, we're seeing that Donald Trump has a very significant secret that's about to be revealed, and it's going to heat up seriously for him. There's a false offer that he's bringing in, or a false praise. This is Rudy Giuliani. The dog lands in its own house. Also to note, in William Barr's grand tableau, we have the moon in the house of house and the house in the house of moon. So those two are mirroring each other. That could be talking about the career of his family career here, because we do know that he has family that's within the administration. And these two are marrying here. The cross in the house of anchor in the house of cross. Okay, so here we're seeing that Rudy Giuliani is getting the bad news that he's about to be betrayed, right down this column. However, what these dingbats don't realize is that this guy has the secrets, and he'll expose everybody, because the clover lands in the house of book lands in the house of storks. He's going to reveal the secret here and here. The storks lands in the house of tower. If this is Rudy Giuliani and he's trying to flee, he can't. There's going to be big trouble around him trying to leave. With the clouds landing in the house of garden, it's like he can't leave. Down this row, we're seeing foreign gifts that have been blocked, and an agreement, a written agreement to overcome those obstacles. Okay, so that could be talking about the sanctions. Down this column here, we're seeing his reputation with money here, and again his health, that there's something really suspicious going on with his health. We're seeing here some it's like they're trying to cut off a tech company here somehow. And again, there's that ambassador, and I'm seeing a judge here as well, where somebody's going to have to stand trial. What I found curious was this little box of 9 up here around his money. We have the bouquet in the house of fish, or I'm sorry, the bouquet in the house of ship, the mountain in the house of whip, the storks in the house of bouquet. Next row, we have the moon in the house of house, the fish in the house of birds, and the clouds in the house of garden. And then on the next row, we have the stars in the house of tree, the scythe in the house of child, and the tower in the house of mountain. There's foreign gifts coming in through a financial institution here. However, there's been some sort of a block, and then there's been money that's been cut away right here on this line. And the transfer has been obscured from the government or from the agencies, and perhaps transferred to a remote location, to a remote bank. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is Deutsche Bank or all those other banks that are involved. I'm not quite sure, but the gifts are coming in through financial institution, and they're looking to relieve the obstacles here. What's interesting is that this right here, that's electronic money transfer. I don't know if this is wire fraud, or they're changing. They're cutting off the money and changing it to. I know Queen's Tarot's done quite a few videos on this, on cryptocurrency, but there's electronic money that is being changed and then transferred to to another institution that's remote. If we look at the fish as his debt, he's got big debt here. He's got a mountain of debt there, and he's looking to cut away the debt. This could also be in regards to a pile of cash somewhere. Right here, literally, could quite literally be talking about a pile of cash. Up here, we're seeing that he's perhaps had some sort of conversation or a small meeting, quite possibly with the media, or someone who has whose family career with these two marrying each other is in the media. That goes down this way. Wondering if it's Fox News here with the Fox down this column here. Well, I'll try to figure that out later. We can see the phone calls that were had here that are in the black box in regards to lying and betraying a child for this guy, and how that's been brought to the public here. It's on the world stage at this point, we all know. Let me see what else. Let's look around the institution. What I found quite curious is I've always read about it, but I've never ever seen it. In the grand tableaus, the lilies is a card of wisdom, of honors, of somebody that is well respected. If it lands above the significator, it means it's someone of good character. If it lands below the significator, it is of a person who is of questionable character. It's not directly below him, but it's right here. So this could be talking about his dishonor and his dishonoring of the institution that he's in, that he represents here. Dishonoring that, and he is dishonorable. There's also a contract here for energy with MBS here. It's corrupt here. Whatever contract it is, it's like they have an energy contract of some sort that this guy knows about that's being kept secret, but when they throw him under the bus, he's going to squeal about that too. And there's a written agreement here, a written document. We have the letter, or the ring in the house of letter, and the letter right below it in the house of key, which is of importance. So it's almost like there's a written document in a contract that they have with MBS here for energy, and how they're going to transfer money here through financial institutions, and then transfer the money through financial institutions, make it hard to trace with the storks, or with the clouds right underneath the fish, by transferring it electronically or changing the currency to something that's electronic. He knows about it. He's more than likely in on it. We're seeing here that he's also quite worried. He may be taking a trip. Again, you know, he's the international man of criminality. We have the ship in the house of mice, and the mice is right below it. And then we have the whip in the house of hearts. So it's looking like this is going to keep repeating about him going overseas for criminality, for criminal purposes. But his health is not good. He lands in the house of crossroads. So like I said earlier, he has a choice or a decision to make, but it looks like this guy could go either way. What's interesting is the bear's way over there. That's Trump. Giuliani is way over here. He is far from both of them. Okay? I don't see anything here that says that he will be getting subpoenaed. If this is in regards to the subpoenas to appear, for people to appear in court, it's been blocked. As well as the gifts that are coming in from overseas that are looking to alleviate the obstacles, and there's some sort of a written contract to do so for the money to be exchanged, changed electronically, so it's hard to trace. He knows about it, but he's also played a part in blocking the invitations or subpoenas. So this guy is not a good character. What's interesting, like I was saying, is that these two are far away. And like I said, he's on the house of crossroads. He can go either way. Hold on. Yeah, he can go either way to save his own ass. We're seeing here that his career is cut this way. The tower is right behind him. That's the institution that he's in. It's like he gets cut from there here, even though he has some sort of seniority, but it's behind him. And then we're seeing action. He lands on a house of action, which is the crossroads. And then we have the ship right after him, which is also an action card. It talks about going somewhere else. So it looks like he may separate. from his institution simply because this is behind him. He's in an action house and he's got an action card right after him. There is a hospital right here, and a fraudulent institution here. This could be also an institution that is full of people that are covert or undercover that are investigating. So this could be like the FBI. However, they've been blocking stuff from him, or doing things to where he can't see what they're doing. Even though the tower's right next to him, it's like they're keeping things far away from him. We can see here the arrest at the airport, with the storks in the house of Tower, the ring right under it, and the letter. There was a warrant to arrest these people at the airport. They were being surveillanced here with the fox. Giuliani falls down this line of influence here. He's soon to be betrayed and handcuffed because he's been under surveillance as well. He knights over to the fish. He knights over here to the tree. Like I said, I'm not seeing an invitation for him to come in to speak, and if he does, he may try to block it. What I can say is that he will deny and separate himself from that conversation. With the birds landing up here right above him, the conversations that are in that server, the birds lands in the house of clouds. So if this is the conversation, the phone calls, the meetings, he cuts, confuses, okay? And then there's a written agreement that he's trying to cover up, or some sort of a written agreement, or some, it's almost like he is going to separate himself from this guy and let this guy take the fall because he's got the betrayal right over him, and deny everything and try to cloud it over, continue to cloud stuff over, and end things, to put an ending to where where the money is going. It's like he's going to try to make it difficult for them to find the money. There is an institution as well that is out of his reach. This could be SDNY, because the tower lands in the house of Mountain. It's out of his reach. He can't get to it, and it's far here. There's gifts in financial institutions that are corrupt this way that he can't touch, that is being perhaps with the fox knighting over there, that is being investigated, that he can't interfere with. So it's like, this is Trump, this is Giuliani. Everything that they're doing with these guys, it's out of his reach. It's in a remote location in a different institution that he can't touch. So let's see over here. Yeah, there's several women around him. One could be the ambassador that was removed under false pretenses so that this guy can have an opportunity, with the snake falling in the house of clover, so that this guy can have the opportunity to do his shady stuff here, going back and forth, flying by air through an airport, all that stuff that we've found out. But then, so we found the ambassador, and I'm seeing the Department of Transportation right here. That woman is corrupt. Well, yeah, duh. We know Chow's corrupt. This may also be someone that is senior within an institution, so I'm wondering if he's also covering for McConnell and Chow, because here's the Department of Transportation. The woman is in the house of Lilies. Lilies is right here. This is somebody that's senior within an institution, so like a judge or somebody that has been in the institution for a very long time. If this is Chow and McConnell, they're facing some serious trouble here with the cross right below them. I'm also seeing the possibility here with this bottom row, like we said, that there is a energy contract with MBS. I'm also seeing quite possibly, because the Lilies is the King of Spades, this could also be talking about Mike Pence, a very holy religious person, holier than thou, who they're trying to perhaps sneak in and secure, but he's been corrupted as well. And that's all being brought to the House here. So here's investigations of corruption into an old senior man, quite possibly religious. So this could be Mitch McConnell as well as Mike Pence down here. Investigations into corruptions, perhaps through the links here once they get into this guy's money to MBS, because there appears to be some sort of contract for energy here. He's got a child around him that's a woman. She is within the government. There might be a child around him as well that may be ill also. There's overseas communications, overseas meetings, overseas phone calls. Let me see. In here we have the public elections and the repetitive abuse and what the House is looking into. Like I said, the House is in the house of Moon. Moon is in the house of House. So this could be the reputation of the people in the House that are bringing everything to the surface. It could also be him and his family and all the families that are in this administration, their careers that are going to be brought to light, and it will expose the corruption and everything else that's going on. Yeah, because here, this is a royal family legacy as well as a marriage of two very regal people here. So Elaine and McConnell. Yeah, they're changing money electronically. And then, you know what, let me write this down so I can follow the mice around, because this could mean that he's really, really worried he's corrupt or he's stealing something. I mean, it could be all of them. Down this diagonal here, the gifts that are coming in from overseas to the financial institutions that they've already talked about, that may be in that server because the fish lands in the house of birds. There may be phone calls in regards to business and money. There's a remote location, an institution that's in a remote location that may have been surveilling those phone calls, even though the birds is far from the fox. However, the tower knights to it, so there may be an institution that's that's out of his reach that may have been surveillancing the criminality here, but it looks like they're stealing money out of a financial institution and changing it there. Let me follow that house and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, I also wanted to note with the tower landing in the House of Mountain, this could be talking about banks as well as the IRS, an institution that has money. It could also be the money that was stolen for the border wall. The tower is something that separates you from another person, and it lands in the House of Mountain, which is something that is remote and hard to get around. So it could have been, this could also be in reference to the missing money for the border wall that's missing or was stolen. So let's see. We can figure this out. Where did I write it? So I followed the mice around, and it looks like the senior woman, quite possibly the ambassador that Trump had removed under false pretenses for the child, which would be
Giuliani's, not Giuliani's, what's his name? The old VP for his son under false pretenses was the opportunity that he took to keep secret. And then there was the flight by the airport, or flight by air at an airport, that was blocked from those people getting away. Then it goes to the whip, the heart, the sun. It's going to expose, this is going to heat up and expose the contracts that they have. The contracts that they have, and the money going overseas is being stolen. So, hold on, give me a second. So, I followed the mice around, and it's a long chain. It's super, super long. But it looks like Giuliani, even though he doesn't fall in the chain, it's talking about Trump removing that woman so that they can dig up dirt on this child under false pretenses. And somebody was going to deliver something in secret while they were traveling by air, leaving the country, but they were blocked. And then they're going to turn up the heat when they discover, well, it's actually in the past. There's an important contract there for this to be transferred overseas, for the money here to be transferred overseas. So they paid, but they stole it from somewhere over here. I don't know if this is money for the border wall. I don't know if this is money from the IRS. I don't know if this is money from FEMA. But there is a financial institution here, and it could be the IRS, the banks, all of them. But that transfer has been clouded over here and difficult to find. And they've changed it this way. So it's like they're stealing from one place, quite possibly from funds that were supposed to go to the border wall or other institutions that have money. Like, I don't know if this would be the reserves or the IRS or what, but they stole the money from there and then transferred it to pay for the bogus investigations for that child. But the money was going overseas. The gifts were going overseas. We're looking at the fox here. The fox goes to the fish, which goes to the birds, which goes to the clouds, which goes to the garden, which goes to the coffin, which goes back to the fox here. There was a conversation about money, a meeting about money, that he shut out from the public, or something. Yeah, he shut it down from the public, but they're going to be investigating that money. It might be difficult for them to find it, though. Let's see. Fish to the birds, to the clouds, to the garden, to the cross, or I'm sorry, to the coffin. Back to the fox. Let me see. Yeah, there's something in that server about money or payments or business that he shut down, or it's in that black box. Here we're seeing the whistleblower, somebody that's blowing the whistle and making it public for everybody about what happened around this child here. Also interesting here in this little box around the tree where I said I was seeing a hospital. He's trying to find some sort of legislation that's also going to be important about changing healthcare here. And it looks like he had to travel by air to get there, because here's travel by air, and a written agreement here around healthcare and institutions that have to do with healthcare. So this could be like health insurance. There's something really troublesome and confusing going on with that, and it is quite suspicious. And it was almost like what he's trying to change. I'm wondering if this is his meeting that he took with Boris Johnson that we read about a while back, where he had gone over to the UK to speak with Boris Johnson and his parliament. And there was weird stuff that was showing up in that reading in regards to healthcare, and William Barr showed up in that reading, and so did Donald Trump. There were phone calls made about it. So this could also be the phone calls where they did not reach an agreement, but he may have gone over there to try to request their institutions here to open up investigations, but he was denied here. But it's like he was bringing in an offer for healthcare, changing healthcare. There's some sort of healthcare legislation or hospital bill or something here with healthcare that's going to be quite difficult to change. This is not going to change anytime soon. Here's handcuffs and isolation, and an institution that's remote from him that's surveilling. On his line of fate, we're seeing that there's a document here. He's getting some news or some sort of a message or a report about an investigation that is going to quite possibly put somebody on trial, and it's going to take a long time. And this is a burden that sticks around. It's quite difficult. It's a burden that weighs him down. It could be a trial. It could be guilt. It could be regret. So this could be saying that, you know, he may regret the choices that he made because he lands in the house of crossroads to open up investigations and then get caught up in all this crap that's going to sink him, because we have the cross in the house of tower, tower in the house of cross. I'm not seeing anything that says that he gets arrested right away. I just see him leaving, going far away, vacation. If this is in regards to time, the ship is around 3 months for timing. So from October to December, that's 3 months. The next 3 months ahead are going to be quite difficult. He may have to argue a lot. He might get pretty freaking pissed off with the whip in the house of heart. He may have some sort of medical issue where he may need some sort of a bypass or something. With this here, with the whip landing in the house of heart, and the heart landing in the house of sun. Let me follow that contract around and the letter, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I followed the letter around. That's a document, a report, mail. So it looks like that letter has to do with Donald Trump removing the ambassador, and then lying about someone's child and covering it up in secret. Somebody that tried to leave by air but was blocked. And then exposing and heating up his contract or his agreement. But there's a written agreement here. Something, this idiot probably put something in writing. And there's quite possibly a record of it. Because it links back to Giuliani. It links back over here to the clouds. That's going to be... that's a crap ton of trouble. And it links back over here to the lilies, which is in the house of woman. This could be the ambassador, the senior person, because this woman here is also departing. She's left with the crossroads, and she's left here as well. You can see that she was verbally attacked here, and she had to go into a hearing and argue. and she may have ratted him out as well, his whole role in it. But like I said, he's going to deny and remove himself from these two people simply because of this. Conversations didn't happen. I don't know. Get these guys. They were the ones that were involved. He'll do that to save his own ass. So it looks like that's the choice he's going to make. Because I've always wondered, is this idiot going to jump on the grenade for these two? Doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. He may for a little bit. But, down this row here, this diagonal with the crossroads, the ship, the mice, the cross. I mean, we can literally read this as separate, jump ship, the rat jumping ship because you're guilty and they're going to sink you here with these two marrying each other. I mean, we could literally read it that simply. So yeah, it looks like once they crack this guy, they're going to get all the stuff that happened over here with shady money. As far as recovering the money that has been stolen, because down this way we're seeing that they stole from the border wall, they stole from financial institutions, quite possibly the IRS, quite possibly banks. They transferred it and changed it perhaps to some sort of electronic currency that was done in secret. So it looks like once they crack this guy, they may be able to recover it, and that is being investigated because the fish knight's over here to the ring, and it knight's over here. So that's a business contract or money that is promised. And then money here, this is like your 401k, your stocks, your bonds. It might take a little bit of time to find it. Yeah, it might take a little bit of time to find it with the lilies here. It knights to the lilies. It knights to the birds. I'm wondering if they're going to start looking for it once they realize all this that happened here. I'm wondering if they're going to start looking for the money around the winter time, perhaps in December. Yeah, but he's got all this stuff on his mind. He's thinking about the whistleblower. He's thinking about what's in that server, the conversations that were had about money, relieving the financial blockages here. So like changing the foreign policy here to lift sanctions here for money to get in because they're hurt, they're cut. He's probably in himself in some serious financial debt. The discussions quite possibly that took place for healthcare overseas, trying to promise something or change their healthcare here, but that didn't go well for him. He's got some sort of illness, may quite possibly be needing some sort of a bypass. His children that are in the administration. There's a young woman from overseas here, a young woman that's foreign with an affair and sexual affairs here with young women. Trafficking right there. He could quite possibly have someone's death on his mind as well. Or something that he covered up here in regards to someone that was being investigated that may have been apprehended and arrested. I'm going to leave that there. I don't want to get too conspiratorial. But it looks like he separates this way because he's in the house of Crossroads. Crossroads is up there. But like I said, I'm not seeing anything here for him to come in to speak. Down this column here, his career may be in danger. So I'm wondering if they're going to move to impeach him as well. Because here's a hearing, separate, confusion, and then a promise here. So it's like a bad, troublesome partnership, a bad, troublesome agreement. Handcuffs, isolations, handcuffs, guilty. It's this guy and his associates. Yeah, you're going to go, buddy. You're going to go, Giuliani, and he is going to let you fall to save his own ass. And it looks like he lets him take the fall as well. Did you guys hear, when was it? Was it yesterday or the day before, where they asked Donald Trump about Rudy Giuliani, and he said the same exact thing that he said about Michael Cohen? Oh, I don't know. You're going to have to ask Rudy Giuliani. And then, well, what he said about Michael Cohen. Oh, I don't know. You're going to have to ask Michael Cohen. Then a couple of days later, he got arrested. Time's ticking, buddy. Your time is ticking, because you're about to meet the same fate. And remember, we did that reading, and it said anywhere from 8 to 13 days. So we'll see. It's soon. His is coming up soon. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that's what I have for his grand tableau. I'm sorry I can't get into more detail about it. I don't want to make this video too long. I may bring this up again down the road just to see what else we can get. And I want to thank you for being with me, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.